What's up, everyone? My name is David Spratt, and welcome back to the Sweat Series. This is episode number 6. We're going to talk about everything you need to know about face sweat or craniofacial hyperhidrosis. In last week's episode, episode number 5, we talked about the difference between antiperspirants and deodorants. This week, face sweat. What is it? How can you stop it? What are treatments available? What are future treatments that are in the works? Are there any? So, embarrassing story about myself. When I was like 8, I went over to a neighbor's house and she had used brownie mix to make these brownies. I always thought my mom made them from scratch, and I saw her use this like box, and she asked me if I wanted to try one of the brownies, and in my little kid voice I said, no, I don't like disgusting brownies. What I really meant to say was I just prefer my mom's brownies and didn't want any. And it was very embarrassing for my mom and for me years down the road. So that happened, and I still hear about it to this day. So I've been asking y'all to send me your sweat stories, and I've heard from some of you, and I really appreciate that. I want to highlight one story from the past week, and that's one from Rachel. She's a North Carolina native. She grew up here all her life. She's 16 years old right now. She's in high school, and she's had sweaty hands her entire life since she could remember. And it's really impeded her daily life, whether she's dancing or trying to do homework or trying to text on her phone. Sweaty hands have gotten in the way so much over her 16 years, and she's been extremely frustrated by them. However, 2 years ago, her dad saw an ad for Carpe, and he bought it, and she's tried it. He told us she hasn't had to deal with sweaty hands in 2 years since starting to try Carpe. And so that was just such an awesome story to hear, and we really hope that Carpe can be that saving grace for so many of y'all as well. So that's Rachel's story. I want to hear y'all's stories. I want to hear more stories, and I know that all of you want to hear each other's stories. So please email me at david@carpelotion.com with your sweat story so we can continue to share our mutual experiences and figure out how to fight sweat together. All right, face sweat. Craniofacial hyperhidrosis, sweat of the face, forehead, and scalp. It's extremely embarrassing for a lot of people. Whether you're sitting at your desk at work, on a date, if you get face sweat, you just start pouring sweat down your face, whether it's coming from the scalp and dripping down or originating in your face and forehead. And for people who sweat in the face and forehead, a lot of that sweat comes from the T-zone, which is right there. And that's separate from scalp sweat. Scalp sweat's just kind of pouring out of your scalp. And we hear about both a lot. They're all characteristics of craniofacial hyperhidrosis. It's just really embarrassing for a lot of people, and it's hard to deal with. There aren't a lot of solutions right now that are available for craniofacial hyperhidrosis, which is really frustrating for a lot of people. We get people every single day on our site, carpelotion.com, asking if they can use our product for face, forehead, and scalp sweat. And what we always tell them is that we haven't tested our product for any of those areas. However, some dermatologists have been recommending patients to use Carpe on their face, forehead, and scalp. We have not tested it, so we can't validate that, but we have also heard from other consumers who've tried it in those areas and have had a lot of success with it. However, I will say customers who tried applying Carpe to their scalps when they had hair, it didn't work out because the lotion's pretty thick, so if you have hair, it would get stuck like in the hair follicles of your head, and it wouldn't be comfortable. But for scalp of bald people and face and forehead, we have heard from people, from customers, and from dermatologists that it does help. And so that's been great to hear. However, we can't make those claims and we can't validate any of that because we haven't done the testing ourselves. So that's just kind of customer testimonials and some things that we've heard from dermatologists. So other products that we've heard people using for craniofacial hyperhidrosis or face sweat. Botox injections. People have gotten Botox injections in their face, forehead, and scalp to stop the sweat. Extremely painful, but it has worked for people. Other people use anticholinergics. Now, we talked about anticholinergics in the context of Qbrexza in episode number 4. However, the anticholinergics that people have been using for face sweat are the oral medications, so the oral glycopyrrolates, as opposed to the topical wipe glycopyrrolate that Dermira just launched in their Qbrexza product. So the issue with the Botox injections is extremely painful. The issue with the oral anticholinergics, they cause dry mouth, blurry vision, heart palpitations, urinary issues. However, they work and they really dry you out. So if face sweat's a big problem for you, you may want to go talk to a doctor and see what your options are. So in summary, face sweat sucks. It's extremely embarrassing, and it's painful for a lot of people. Face, forehead, scalp sweat. There aren't a lot of solutions available over the counter and prescription, but more are coming, and we're working on solutions. I know that we will be able to help stop your face, forehead, and scalp sweat soon. So hang in there. Please let me know if you have any questions. Email me at david@carpelotion.com, and please remember to subscribe to our channel, Carpe Lotion, to see next week's episode and to catch up with all of the tips and tricks for managing your sweat. Thanks so much.